Arsenal, Manchester United this Sunday, Old Trafford. I mean, football heritage. Football heritage. I love using that term. Arsenal, Manchester United this Sunday, 10:30. Um, Arsenal, 69 according to Google, the drop menu, the win probability menu. Arsenal 69% favorites to win at Old Trafford. Really just shows the demise of Manchester United. When you're Manchester United playing at Old Trafford, it used to be a fortress. It used to be a team, a place where teams came in thinking, oh boy, we're really gonna have to, put a shift in to get a point, let alone come in and win. Now it's kind of become a training ground for not only the top six sides, but also some of the lesser sides in the league. It's really sad the way Old Trafford's the atmosphere is always going to be electric, but the way the fear that was brought in at a stadium, it used to have like an Enfield level kind of fear. You don't really get that anymore nowadays. But let's just go strictly regarding this Manchester United Arsenal game. This is a Arsenal team that needs to win the rest of their games, and they need to hope Man City drop points somewhere. They're coming in with some sort of level of desperation, knowing not only do they need to win this game, but they don't control their own destiny, and they need a Man City team who never, choke in these positions to choke. But the funny thing is, I was talking to my friend and he was telling me, and I 100% agree with him, it would be the most Arsenal thing to do to watch City drop points to Fulham tomorrow and to compound that by dropping points against United on Sunday. That would be the most funniest thing. It would be kind of a repeat of Villa's thing where Liverpool dropped points and then they went on to drop points against Villa. That would be so funny that happened. And, I worry about Arsenal in this game. I think that the fact that they are heavy favorites kind of works against them. I think United are going to, they're going to sit in. They're going to, under Ten Hag, the style of football has been question mark. They're going to sit in. They're going to make a compact. They're going to try to play in between the lines and transition with depending on who they start in this game. I know Rashford, he's just coming back. I don't think he'll get in. With Garnacho, Anthony, who didn't make the Brazil squad, we'll discuss that later. They're gonna try to play with their pace. Højlund, and I just think Arsenal, they're prone to bottling key moments. When it comes to the game, when it comes to performance, when it comes to the teams, Arsenal is just much better than United, just overall. What we've seen from them this season, they're a much better, much more talented team, much better coached team, much more organized team, game in, game out. They know what they're going to try to do. With United, there's been question marks with their style of play, with their execution. They've had a lot of injuries. It's just been... So when it comes to the game itself, between the two teams, there's a clear favorite, there's a clear better team. But football is a funny game, and football can lead to surprise upsets. Football can lead to game-changing type of moments, and it takes a red card here or this there or this there. So I think... Well, first of all, I think Arsenal's experience is going to need to come through here. They can't get too big-headed about the fact that they're much better than them. I think some key guys in this game, even if they're not playing, is a guy like Jorginho, who I would slot in because of the experience he has. He's won a Champions League. He has that experience. He'll keep a level head at Anfield, and this is an Arsenal team that's still inexperienced, to say. None of them have won a legitimate trophy. I don't know which of them was in that FA Cup winning team. I'm looking at this team right now. Thomas Partey, he might have been in there. Been in there. I think Eddie Nketiah maybe. Yeah, but not much have Gabriel Jesus. He has experience in these sort of situations, but there's a lack of experience in this Arsenal team. So I think it's important for them, through the experience that they have with a guy like Jorginho, to maintain a level and composed head, especially, let's say, United do score a goal early on. Arsenal are in a position that they're gonna that or points is not enough at Old Trafford. They need to go and they need to get 2 goals. So they need to keep a level head. They need to, whenever Leverkusen, I'm gonna give you an example. Leverkusen throughout the season, even late in the game situations where they've needed a goal to rescue a point or to win a game, um, it always seems like they're playing the exact same way that they're playing in those sort of moments that they would be playing in like 20 minutes in of a 0-0 game. The style of play, what they do, they don't panic, nothing changes. I think that's going to be important for Arsenal if they go down a goal early, not to put your head down. I've always criticized this Arsenal team and Saka specifically. Not Saka specifically, but this Arsenal team. Whenever the going gets tough, they disappear. And when I go with Saka, because Saka is the best player at Arsenal. Saka and Declan Rice, you could argue here and there. But let's just go back to Saka. Saka is a player for me. He's talented. He has ability. But when the going gets tough, he's not a guy that elevates the team out of the pack of a tough situation. It's kind of a, like, especially when we saw last year down the stretch or the year before when they're battling for top 4, or whenever they've just been struggling in years past. Whenever Arsenal's been struggling as a whole, Bukayo Saka is not there to elevate them. He's kind of going down with them, and he's also suffering as well in his performances. That's the thing that really concerns me in this game. I said yesterday, or later in the show, I said there's a good chance Arsenal might enter the last game of the season and already be out of it. I think there's a very good chance of that happening, and for that to happen, more likely than not, they're gonna have to drop points on Sunday, which I could see it happen. As far as the motivation on Manchester United side, a lot of their season depends on what happens in the FA Cup against Manchester City in the final. Let's just be clear on that. They need some sort of salvation for this horrible, horrible season. The only thing they'll provide it is potentially winning a FA Cup. Even, right now they're in the battle. They're right there with Chelsea trying to battle for Europa League, Conference League position or whatever. But, which they can get no matter what if they win the FA Cup, by the way. They automatically qualify for the Europa League if they reach the FA Cup. But if they don't win the FA Cup, getting to 6th place is essential for them. So they are battling for that. But the motivation is not really that. Getting into Europa League is far from United's concerns. So the motivation is there. Just the fact that they're playing against Arsenal, and it's a tricky situation because you're playing against Arsenal and you're trying to end their season, but you're essentially handing a Premier League title to City, which is really their bigger rivals, their Manchester rivals. Obviously, the players on the pitch, they're not really going to be thinking that, because I don't think the rivalry, I don't know if that's a word, but the rivalry between City and United is sort of the same of a Tottenham Arsenal. Like here, in my opinion, I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, let's say it came down to a position, hypothetical situation, Tottenham plays City in the last game of the season, and City need to beat Tottenham for Arsenal to win the title, or Tottenham need to beat City for Arsenal to win the title. I really wholeheartedly think Tottenham will drop or at least their fans. Obviously, really the players play for different. They play have sort of different motivations. They're trying to still play. You don't fake soccer, but I really think the fans will 100% want Tottenham to throw that game away. I don't know if it's that kind of tense rivalry between City and United. Enough to where United some are in the back of the head thinking, do we really want to hand this title to City? Is that what we want right now? I don't think it's really that deep between the two. But yeah, the overall motivation of United is is different than what's it called? Than Arsenal, because Arsenal are essentially here playing for their entire season. Arsenal did take on United earlier this year. It was a crazy game. Garnacho almost won it at the end for United, and then Declan Rice ends up scoring a last-minute deflected goal after Garnacho scored a goal, but it was ruled off offside by the tiniest of margins. By the way, it was a brilliant, brilliant game. And then Declan Rice off a corner kick, I believe it got deflected, beats what's his name, Onana, nestles it to the back of the net. Then Gabriel Jesus in transition, one of those last counter-attack goals whenever you're up, scores, makes it 3-1. So at Emirates, and it was at the Emirates, and United played them well. This United team is totally different from now, totally different perspective now than they were at that point of view. But just to provide the information on what happened the last time Arsenal played Manchester United.